This meal is so unfinished, EA tried to publish it. Ooh! Everybody, Chef Jill here, welcome back. So I got a request recently to review some chef memes, some food memes, so let's get started. Let's take a look and see what we got for today. Covers bread with butter and adds ham. Chef. So one of the best sandwiches I ever had in my life was literally bread with butter and ham on it. It's called a jamon beurre, and it's a French term which means ham and butter, basically. But it is a sandwich, and sometimes they'll put cornichon on it, they'll put little pickles on it. It's just fat on bread, but it's what the French do really well, and I'm not here to complain, but yeah, basically, just put really basic things together and bam, chef. Chefs dangling family meal in front of servers. Tina, you fat lord, come get some dinner. So if you've never seen Napoleon Dynamite, you might not get this reference, but family meal is something that at some restaurant chefs will put together. It's usually like whatever we have in the kitchen, whatever we can find that we want to get rid of, and it's usually something really simple that we'll put out, and while the restaurant owner or the head chef is kind of talking at everybody and telling them how the night's going to go and what items need to be 86, family meal is served, and it gives everybody the opportunity to kind of eat together, and it's sort of the calm before the storm. But yeah, definitely like the chefs are like, come on, servers, let's go and eat something real quick, you fatties, before we get started. Oh my god, it's so cute. I love little pufferfish. Okay, so again, hungry waitresses cuddling up to line cooks. It's so cute. Oh my god, it's so sweet. Look at the big eyes. You don't realize how many friends you have until you take a cooking position. And those friendships are, they're not the most genuine relationships you're gonna have in your life, because you're the one with all the food, you're the one with the fridge, you're the one with that extra plate that maybe somebody said that they wanted and then changed their mind, and you end up with the extra food, and all of a sudden, everybody that works in the restaurant, all the hosts, all the bartenders are like your best friend. And even when I worked in like grocery stores and stuff, I worked at a bakery as a kid, and whenever there was leftover stuff, or maybe somebody baked something a little bit too long and it was a little too brown for us to put out or didn't meet our specifications, boy oh boy is everybody your best friend when they're hungry, and waitresses are among them. I actually, at one point at one of my jobs, I had to put a lock on the walk-in, because I would come back, like I'd go to the bathroom or I'd step out into the restaurant to grab something, and I would come back and open the walk-in door, and all of the waitresses, all the servers, the hosts, everybody are hanging out in the walk-in just eating stuff off of trays, just picking food off the trays and eating it. And my coworkers, who I hope, my former coworkers, I hope, who are watching this video, I hope will comment and say, yes, she put a padlock on there, and the only people who knew the combination were me and my sous chef. That was it. My boss didn't even know, because he was the one that told me I wasn't allowed to put a padlock on there. But it was my food cost, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta hold a hard line. So Rax King says, me critiquing chefs on TV. I can't believe this stupid asshole forgot to deglaze his pan before adding his braising liquid. Me preparing my food at home. This is my beans and my rice. I like it because the beans has a beans flavor and the rice has a rice flavor. We don't eat fancy at home on our days off. At least most of us don't. I think some chefs would like to put out the perception that they're making all these amazing things on their days off, when really it's like Taco Bell, pizza, because we've spent so much time cooking for you that we're not braising and deglazing things on our days off. It's just not happening. So I was like the red box queen. I was like the Stouffer's kind of queen for a while. I'm trying to eat better nowadays, but yeah, no, rice and beans sounds about right. Making a simple dessert, executing the basket ingredients well, or taking a right turn and using the ice cream maker. Every chopped contestant ever. So shows like this stress me out, because I'm like, why don't you just take this and dice it and mix this in and then melt down those weird candies they gave you and turn it into some sort of candy amalgamation? There's other things you can do with what you're given, but they go instantly to the ice cream machine, they go instantly to like the freeze top machine, or they go instantly to the sous vide machine. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? I've never been on the show. People have said I should be, and I think I would be hilarious on the show, because all the criticism I have would just leave right out of my head and I would just go nuts. But this would probably be me. I would probably be the ice cream maker person that I hate so much, but I guess maybe if I'm ever nominated, I'll show up on the show and see how quickly that ice cream maker comes out. Adam says, chefs seem obsessed with removing more and more of the original structure of foods. Salmon mousse, basil foam, strawberry dust, Parmesan air. Where does it end? Venison deja vu, a memory of broccoli, a vicious rumor about carrots. I love that it's a vicious rumor about carrots. It's not even a nice one. I so great. When I die, I want my line cooks to lower me into my grave so they can let me down one last time. If it wasn't true. Sometimes your line cooks will sandbag you a little bit. Sometimes I think it's funny. They do it to you on purpose if you're the head chef or you're the expediter, the person that's between the servers and the cooks that's kind of putting all the plates on to trays and trying to get food out. Sometimes your line cooks will really saddle you. Sometimes they'll do it on purpose, sometimes they don't, but that's a little bit of a burn to your line cooks. Everybody thinks it's easy to be a chef. It's really not. It's not easy to be a line cook either. I love that face. Opening the oven to check on your food like you. Okay. There's several different kinds of ovens, but typically on a hotline in a restaurant, you're gonna have a convex oven, which means that it's a blown air oven. There's a fan in the back against the back wall of the oven that circulates the heat through the entire oven at a very high rate of speed. It's kind of like what an air fryer is on the counter. And when you open it and get that like of hot air in your face, it's almost like stepping off a space shuttle. I've also blown my eyebrows off in kitchen fires before. That's super fun. You look great for a couple days after that. Oh, you're about to take a break? Lol, no. That machine is the bane of your existence. So anybody who's ever worked in a kitchen or in a quick service type of environment knows that sound inside and outside.
Ka-chang, 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 ka-chang. Oh God, I hate that noise.
And when you get saddled, it is ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket, and you just stick them up kind of in the line in front of you and you work your way. Typically in a restaurant you would go left to right, but it is such a pain in the behind to deal with this machine, and you do, it's awful. So that sound will haunt me for the rest of my life, I'm sure. This meal is so unfinished, EA tried to publish it. Ooh. I see you, Bethesda. I see you, Fallout 76. Maybe it came out a little too early, maybe, I don't know, just saying. What the prep list looks like Friday morning. If we had a chalkboard that big, guys, that's exactly what it would look like. And it doesn't matter. This guy standing at the front of the classroom, this professor, could be the head chef, and he could be delegating the prep list to every single person sitting in front of him right now, and their list would still look like that. There's something called mise en place, which is, in French, it means putting everything in its place. And that has to happen before meal service. Because if we're not prepared ahead of time, if we don't have everything chopped and ready to go before you get in there, if we don't have things started, sauces started, and you come into the restaurant hungry, it's going to take us 45 minutes to an hour to put your meal together at the last minute. So that mise en place is so important, and there is so much prep to do, guys. Every raw ingredient that comes in has to be chopped. Everything has to be measured. Everything has to be put in bain-maries, which is kind of the cold bar setup. Ever walked into a Subway and seen all the divots with all the stuff in it? That's a bain-marie. That's what that's called. We have to set all that stuff up, make sure all the pans are clean, make sure the dishwasher showed up because he was probably hungover from the night before. We need to be prepared for you so that you're not waiting to eat for an hour and then you're leaving and you're not tipping the waitress and then they get really mad at us. It's a vicious cycle. Going inside the walk-in at work. Yes! Okay, yes. Oh, Rafiki is my jam. That's my spirit animal. So the walk-in it's your cave, it's your sanctuary, it's your place of quiet. And honestly, the cold is pretty nice after you've been standing over a grill plate for a couple of hours and you're sweating through the 3 layers of clothing you're wearing. I wouldn't blame you for hiding out in the walk-in. In fact, I have had to take a few breaks in the walk-in from time to time. You have to kind of go in there and chill out and recenter yourself. If you ever start, at a restaurant and you've never worked in a restaurant before and you can't find the cook, the walk-in should be the first place you check, followed quickly by out the back door or the loading dock because they're probably smoking. A tattoo sleeve used to mean you were a biker who would kill. Now it probably means you're a chef who makes a lovely pork belly with balsamic drizzle. There are a lot of hipsters, y'all. There are a lot of hipsters in the food industry. And yeah, sleeves don't necessarily mean biker anymore. I only have one tattoo and I'm a rarity. There are people who have a whole lot more than I do. Neck, chest, arms, and you probably wouldn't know that they had all those tattoos if they didn't roll their chef sleeves up, because a lot of chefs roll their sleeves up to about the elbow height. But yeah, there's a lot of tattooed, flat cap wearing, bun, whatever. There's a lot of those guys working in the kitchen, and a lot of those girls too, working in the kitchen for sure. It's a very diverse group typically in the kitchen, so that's pretty funny. That's great. Thanks, guys. I loved going over these memes. If you want to see more of them, let me know down in the comments, and if you have a meme you want me to comment on, send it to my email. I'll make sure to put my email down below so that you can send me your meme. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun doing this, and I will catch you next time.